When we think about what it means to care for someone, words like support, kindness, and respect, they usually come to mind first, and those are absolutely vital. But what if I told you that's only half the story? It turns out not all care philosophies are built the same, and the difference between them, well, it can change everything.
So, let's kick things off with a big question. What if the world around a person, their room, their daily routines, even just the way we talk to them? What if it could be more than just a comfortable, passive backdrop? What if it could be an active tool that actually helps them thrive?
Today, we're going to dive into the source material to explore two very different answers to that question. On one side, we've got traditional person-centered care, and on the other, the Montessori-inspired lifestyle. Let's see how they really stack up.
All right, so to really get this tale of two models, we've got to start at the very foundation, the core philosophy that drives each one. This is really where their paths start to split. Okay, so check this out, because the key difference is all in the verbs. Traditional care, which comes from such a good place, focuses on respecting you. It's like a soft cushion, right? It's there to make you comfortable. But the Montessori-inspired lifestyle, or MIL, it actively structures things. It engineers the environment. It's not a cushion, it's a scaffold, something designed to help a person keep on acting, choosing, and contributing for themselves.
So that's the big idea, right? The cushion versus the scaffold. But what does that actually look like in real life? Well, let's look at one of the most important things we have, the power of choice, and the difference between just reacting to someone and truly enabling them.
So, in a traditional model, when a person's abilities start to change, our natural, caring response is often to, lower our expectations. We start doing more for them to try and make their life easier.
But the MIL approach, it completely flips that on its head. Instead of lowering the bar for the person, it raises the capability of the environment. It adapts the environment upward, giving them better tools to succeed with the abilities they've still got.
And this right here is where the rubber meets the road. Asking an abstract question like, "What would you like to do today?" can be totally overwhelming if you're dealing with cognitive changes. But the MILF approach makes it real. Imagine holding up two shirts and simply asking, "This one or this one?" That's a real, visual, supported choice. It's such a small shift, but man, it makes a world of difference.
And that idea leads us straight to this bigger concept, the environment itself becoming a tool. This is another huge area where these two models part ways, changing the environment from just a passive space to an active player in a person's care.
So, what on earth is an active environment? It just means the surroundings are designed on purpose to give cues, like a sign with a picture of a toilet on the bathroom door. It's about guiding actions and, ultimately, reducing all that confusion and distress. The environment itself basically becomes part of the care team.
And when you look at the source material, this isn't just some side note. This idea is a central pillar of the whole philosophy. The role of the environment literally shifts from being just a passive backdrop to being an active partner. It's not just the stage anymore. It's one of the main actors.
All right, so enough with the big ideas. What does all this talk about philosophy and environments actually look like in the day-to-day grind? This is where we see that huge shift from doing things for someone to doing things with them.
This comparison right here is so powerful. In a traditional model, as independence starts to fade, the default is to step in and just do the task for the person. But in the MIL model, the goal is always to break that task down into steps they can still do. Maybe they can't button their shirt anymore, but they can definitely choose which one to wear. Maybe they can't peel the potato, but they can help wash it. That's care done with them, and that preserves a sense of purpose.
And look at how this reframes those tough moments. In a traditional setting, if someone resists, it might be seen as them just being difficult. But in MIL, that resistance is seen as communication. The person isn't trying to give you a hard time, they're trying to tell you something. So if someone doesn't want to go to the dining room, the question isn't how do we make them go, it's why don't they want to go? Is it too loud? Is the chair uncomfortable? The burden shifts to us to figure it out and change the approach, not on them to just comply. Now, all of this sounds amazing, but you might be thinking, wow, that also sounds like a lot of work for the care team. And that's a totally fair question. So how does each model support the staff who are doing this incredibly important work?
This is where we see another huge shift, from relying on an individual caregiver's goodwill and patience to building a solid system that supports everybody. Instead of each person having to reinvent the wheel, MIL provides shared systems and real concrete tools. This means care is consistent no matter who's on shift that day. It gives staff a clear playbook, which is absolutely crucial for reducing burnout and helping them feel effective. It creates a framework that you can actually teach, repeat, and rely on.
So let's tie all these pieces together. When you combine the philosophy, the approach to choice, the active environment, and the staff support, what's the long-term impact? Let's look at why these differences really matter over time.
This summary table just lays it all out so clearly. Look at focus on dignity. Both models aim for it, right? But one defines it as respect, while Mill defines it as the ability to act, to choose, and to have purpose. And how do you measure success? It's not just about having fewer complaints. It's about seeing real, observable engagement, less distress, and helping people sustain their abilities for longer. And that leads to an outcome that's sustainable and repeatable, not just well-intentioned, but kind of inconsistent.
And that brings us to this number, 3. It seems so simple, but this number is everything. It represents the 3 pillars of how the Montessori-inspired lifestyle defines and preserves dignity, through meaningful action, through genuine choice, and through a continuing sense of purpose. Dignity isn't something that's just given to you. It's something you get to keep living. And this leaves us with a final, really powerful thought to chew on. If we stop thinking of care as just a soft cushion to land on when things get hard, and start thinking of it as a scaffold that helps a person keep building their life, well, it just begs the question, how high could their quality of life truly go?